Hello everyone, this is Professor095 back with another weekly stream news reviews. If you're using this, if you're like seeing this, like my camera over here, it's not the usual one that you see if my horizontal, like the horizontal the vertical camera side, because I've kind of like my phone cameras has been going something wrong with it, so super weird. But that's about it. So today I wouldn't be like touching so long because most of it has been reviewed already up until this point. For DBT 11, so DBT 12 is going to be the next set incoming. But for now, I just want to brush through a simple breakdown of the new Tamayura, as well as some of the new, what do you call that? The new cards that will be coming, the reprints as well, which will be getting our new rideline for Stoichia. Yeah, so just sit and have a watch through. Okay, actually, just watch through this video if you like wanted to like understand how this thing works actually. Alright, so before we get into this, further down in this video, I just wanted to say, if you do like my content over here, please do hit like and subscribe, and catch me more on my future content in the future, because I'm still busy with stuff. So yeah. Anyways, history. Okay, now first things first. History collection for the set for premium and fee standard is already out. So technically speaking, if you haven't known yet, so all the grade 3 Strider reprints will be getting a zero art alternate art reprint for, let's say for example, Ultima, Harry, Nightghost, Asha. The only thing that is quite a bummer is that Chronojet doesn't really get the alternate Vanguard Zero alternate art, because mostly it's because it's already in the V series. So I'm kind of a little bit bummed on that, but that's about it. So you can see the zero art only the grade 3 Striders with the SP alternate art will get the SP versions. Usually the common versions will not get what you call it, the SP treatment. So we can see here we have Gaia, we have Rising Nova over here. So it's quite nice, but it's a bummer that we don't get to see this in Vanguard Zero. Ooh, okay, so sad. Alright, and that's about it. But before we get straight into the straight into the new stuff, here's the ones from Captain Century. So you can see here there's Ultima, there's like Susanoo, there's like Tyrant Sword, Guguit, Fenrir, we have Gabriel, and then that's all for Captain Century. And then you have the Dragon Empire, we have Dragonic Blade Master, we have over here we have Dragonic Vanquisher, we have Shiranui Oboro, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Oboro. Then we have Yasue, and then we have Gaia, Tachikaze, and then after that we have Hari over here. We have Shaharot Vampire, we have Rising Nova, and then we have Chronojet, which is not an alternate art, Vanguard Zero art. So I'm kind of a little bit bummed on that. So it could be a Vanguard Zero art, but I think they didn't want it to confuse with the V version, so I'm not sure the justifications for it. Here's for Magalani, for Zoo first, we have Bug Face. We have Big Belly, we have Asha. So Asha's Zero is quite nice. Noise. We have Night Rose over here. We have Tavas for Magalanika, and then we have Loris, because Loris does not get no, she's technically a reprint. And also, if you notice something different, she's also getting what do you call that, the ASR treatment, something along those lines, where you have the mermaid language thingy foiling. So it's quite nice, and it's legal as well, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's tournament legal. Then you have the Dark States, not Dark States, sorry, Stargate. Yeah, so we have Alter Ego over here. We have Grand Gallop, and we have Victor. So all of them are here, so quite nice. And we have Harmonix in its SP, Harmonix Messiah in its SP version. And then after that you have the Cray Elementals. We have Honali, Become, if I'm not mistaken the name. And then we have like Pichun, is it? Pichan, I think. So we all have the Cray Elementals here. Quite nice. And then I heard I heard the ratios for the history collection was not as great because the VR was and the foiling as well, because like VR essentially becomes a common rarity reprint as well, which means, oh boy, I can't wait to build like 4 more next stage decks in the future. So that's kind of a little bit of a bummer over here, but yeah. So other than that, I felt like the history collection was kind of like it's kind of like a copier release at this point, but I mean, I beg to differ. I mean, like, if anyone else begs to differ, I mean, sure, why not? But I think most people would agree that the ratios was kind of like a little bit effed up. So I can't say much to this. We can't really complain much. Even if you try to complain much, it's not gonna change anything anyways. But then again, in that aside, there are good reprints and there are bad reprints, so there are also some unnecessary reprints, but we'll just take it nonetheless, right? Okay, anyways, ranting about looking through of all of the festival collection, like history collection stuff, we're going to get straight into the TBT 11's Dragon Empire Recyclers, which here we have beat up Dragon Kid. So he is a grade 1, he's a double rare. So continuous regard skill, if you play a normal order this turn, this unit gets 5k until the end of turn. So he's a 13k attacker, 13k booster as usual. So auto on displays on the rearguard circle, you counter +1, you search your deck or drop zone for up to one serious fight, reveal it and add it to your hand, and if you search your deck, you shuffle your deck. So quite the most generic start order, like I think it's an order finder, isn't it? Yeah, the order finder. And then we have the serious fight, which is a normal order. You play this by Soul Blast 1, you choose one of your opponent's rearguard in the front row and retire it. So at the end of that turn, you discard 1 card from your hand, you choose 1 serious fight from your drop zone and add it to your hand. So, okay, it's a free retiring with a soul. I won't say free retiring, that's not the word for it. You basically just get the retire for just like on Soul Blast 1 and then just participate the same order, so that's about it. And then we have the new Dragon Girl, the Dragon Girl, which is tracked with the Latifah. So Latifah is very, very nice. Here's the reason why. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, other than by a unique card's ability, so I think you can just call from order. If you call it by like normal orders, or you call by you call from hand, if I'm not mistaken. If you play a normal order this turn, you Soul Blast 1, you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to grade 1 with grade 1 card with grade equal or lower than your Vanguard circle. Reveal it and call it to the rearguard circle if it's a unique card, and add it to your hand if it's a normal order, then you shuffle your deck. Rearguard auto skill, when this unit attacks a great share of greater rearguard, this unit gets 5k until the end of the battle for each of your opponent's rearguard column empty rearguard circle in the same column as this unit. So good for like a couple of reasons. So basically what she can do is basically she gets to have a free calling, and she gets to find a normal order if like your top 5 in just find 1 card from among them. So if it's like a normal order, you add it to your hand. If it's like a unique card, you just call it. So you get a free calling, but at the same time, if you want to put in the order in your hand, you can potentially play this in Kandiba because of one thing, that's Harvest, right? Or any other necessary orders you felt like it's very important in Dragon Empire, which for now, I think the most staple normal order cards that I've seen so far is basically just, what do you call the word? What's the word for it? I just mentioned it, Best Harvest, yeah. Best Harvest, and then after that, she can get 5k until the end of like opponent's empty rearguard circle until the same column as his unit until the end of turn. So basically speaking, if let's say if your opponent has like say 2 empty rearguard columns as she is, then she gets like 20, then she's get like 10k, so essentially she's a 20k attacker. So it's super good and it's super nice for this reason. So I can't see a reason why most decks would play it, will not play it. You can also like put this in Bawa Sakura as well, I think, because like you can search for the arms. So probably you can take out Kang Shakti, but I think Kang Shakti, I think it will still be more useful because of the drawing cards and like shoving the arms to the soul just for that. But you can also potentially play this in let's say for example Eugene. I think Eugene, it will be useful because it's also like looking for like I think you are trying to look for that what do you call it, the Best Harvest as well. And I think the most interesting part of this card is that it doesn't really restricts to Regalis piece. So if you can find a Regalis piece from among them, that would it's quite amazing. So if you can find a card, or you can find something like, I don't know, the Great Tree, the Great 4 Searcher, or the Great 3 Spirit Calling one, I think that's also kind of like a good addition to this as well. So Latifa is definitely, I would see a potential staple in the lot of decks, Dragon Empire decks in the future. So that's about it. And then after that we have Will-O-Wisp Daybreak Tamayura. So technically speaking, you have the new Tamayura coming out. So the skill is that when this unit is placed on the by riding on the old Tamayura, you search your deck or your drop zone for up to one order card without the Regalis piece. Okay, so here's the order. So the restriction there. So you cannot find an order card from the Regalis piece on your drop zone or your deck. You reveal it and then add it to your hand and shuffle your deck, and then you activate Persona Rite, which is a reoccurring theme in like a lot of these new boss Great Trees, right? And so Vanguard Circle, when this unit attacks Vanguard, you bind one old Tamayura from your soul, you call up to one of each card with Ririmi and Rarami in their card names from your soul to the Vanguard Circle, plus 5k until the end of turn. So at the end of that turn, you write the card bound as Discourse as rest. So you just, at the end of the turn, you just write back the old Tamayura as rest. So okay, so that's a lot of there's a lot of things you can do with this Tamayura. Honestly speaking, one of the best reasons why is that you can search back for broken toys. That's one of the reasons you can also like look for one order card is because the order card, if let's say for example you have the Blitz order, the Elemental Sankaria in your drop zone, right? If you do not use it for the PG effect, you can probably just try to like bounce that back to your hand later on, or you can just look for like say the Great Tree where she Soul Blast 2, and then you call one Ririmi and Rarami as well. That's also kind of useful as well. You can technically bounce back like a very important pieces and important order cards from the drop zone or from your deck for this effect. So this is the best part about it. And then I think the next reason why she's pretty good as well, because before you go to like your right phase, like you stand and draw, and then like the old Tamayura gives yourself the player plus 5k front row until the end of turn, and then you just ride it with this new Tamayura. So basically speaking, it's a 15k power Persona Rite as well. So if you call Ririmi and Rarami, that would be like technically plus 5k for the effects that you call by this. So your Ririmis and Raramis are potentially, like say the grade 2 ones, potentially can swing for like 30k at minimum, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the best part about what she can do though. And so I think it's like super nice for Tamayura, although it's some people say it's not as impressive, but I felt like it's already pretty impressive on its own, because you can try to look for the broken toys and just like filter your deck, just bounce out your Ririmis or Raramis. Then yeah, it's basically like you call back and then you're able to like call the Ririmis and Raramis. Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, even then, I think it's if you play the red OT, you can technically do a lot with that. If she restands as well, and you don't have like Ririmis and Raramis, you just can basically like do like 1, 2, 3, and if you check the OT, you can just like do 4, 5, and 6. You can do 6 attacks if I'm not mistaken. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, right? So I'm pretty sure what it can do, because it's not once per turn as well. So yeah, so it's like it's kind of nice. So that's what the Tamayura will do. And then the next Tuesday, which is tomorrow, by the time you're seeing this video, I'm recording this on a Monday afternoon. We will have a new Blonde Azer rideline, and then we have Mikatsuki Munechika from and with the new gimmick Tando from Token Rango, which I am barely going to touch upon, but that's how it is supposed to be. Token Rango, not really interested. So that's about it. So new sleeves at the beginning of August in Japan. So we have Zakusa, we have Cardinal, we have like the Office Maskers, we have Silhouette, Sussman, and we have the new rideline which is Lulluszuul. We will be the Soikia new rideline for the manga from the manga, which we get straight into it. So that's about it. Now I already like brushed through all of the SPs and whatnot. Okay, so Yeah, additional information, reprints as well. No Life King gets a like alternate art reprint. So that's about it. All the strikes, the old strikes like Goblet, Campbell, etc., will no longer have on hit effects. So that's kind of good. And then we have like new starters, which I kind of like left out. We have like the Giraffe starters. We have Tiffany. We have Tiffany from the Geolites. We have the Eclair from Battle Sisters, the new starters. This is quite nice. And then Wartimer from Gold Paladin, the Raptor, Military Dragon Raptor from Tachikaze, the good old starters, Lingchu Eradicator, which is nice. We have Runball from Chapatla, which is now a Raptor. We have Zeal from Dimension Police. And then we have Dusttail Unicorn Star Raider, which is nice. And we have Chappie the Ghosty, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have Alex from the Repose. This is a Repose from Aqua Force. So basically, what this new starters is supposed to be is the whole new right lines. And just fill in the gaps, because like most of fill in the gaps of like completing the right line. Because if like say for example Geonites doesn't have their own starter, Battle Sister has a 1, 2, 3 but never have their own starter, Baltimore doesn't have his own starter as well. I mean like as in their own specific archetypes or their own specific subclans or like and so along those lines. So it's quite nice for them to reprint. That's kind of like nice. And so that's about it. That's the whole entirety of the history collection part. Okay, now then we have the new reprints for this Thursday. We're talking about like this Thursday. We have the new alternate art reprints, SP versions. I think it's like SP or SAC, which they have been collabing with some of the very famous mangas. So we have like someone from, let's say for example Futo Tande. I don't remember the author's name, but his artwork is one of the cards in here, so which is quite nice. So you can see it's like the spirits, a crossover with Vanguard. So this is Dianta. Dianta, is it? Yeah, okay. Follow Maiden of Love Songs Lyrivia, so it will be treated the same as Dianta as well. So it's quite nice. The story tier grade 1, which is like on call, place from hand, on call counterblast 1, choose one deck from your drop zone and just call it to the same grade as the Vanguard. So it's that one. I've seen a lot of people like the one that they usually take in Yanon. They have Stealthing Kodama, which is basically Folktale. And then we have Ruler of Greed Albury, which is like alternate art for Greedon, the old Greedon, not the Greedon Maskus. And then we have the Combined Russia. We have Cosmic Battalion of Fame, I think. Yeah, so that's it. And then we're gonna skip the right line for now. We have Lulluszuul. Lulluszuul is basically Kyber. Kyber is the one that is from the triple rare from DBT07, where it's like on place, you can't last 1 look top 3, call 1 grade 2 or less, if not the grade 3 or greater, put it to your hand, right? So it's that card in general. So yeah, that's about it. Alright. And now for Thursday we have the what you call that, the Lulluszuul, the new right line for Stoichia, which is what she's going to be. The user in the manga, her name is Kuranagachiyo. So yeah, so we have Mystiak. So it's like Mystic and Arkham Mystiak Pegumeko. It's basically just a fusion of animals and whatnot. So you have the starter skill as usual, being ruled upon, when second, draw 1, yada yada, and so forth. Right, we have Mystiak Ilondrina, which is a grade 1. When this unit is rolled upon by a grade 2 with Mystiak in its card name, you call this card to a Rearguard Circle, and that's the auto skill. The second skill is a continuous back row Rearguard Circle skill. If your other Rearguard with Mystiak in its card name is placed by your unit's ability, not from hand, right? Not from hand, from your unit's ability, and your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, all of your front row units in the same column as this unit gets 5k. So it pumps the 5k, and provided if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and the effect that was called by this must be from unit card's ability, unit's ability, not, yeah, so that's it. It's nothing much in general, but I think the good part is that like you can power up the front K. I think the 5K in the front row. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. And then we have Mistiak Lullus Manta. Lullus Manta is auto skill. When this unit is rolled by a great tree with Mistiak in its card name, you call this card to the rearguard circle. Again, you have like some sort of like a free calling from the soul. So when this unit is placed on rearguard circle auto, right? If you have 3 or more units with Mistiak in its card name, you may soul charge one. Then choose one of your opponent's rearguard, and that unit cannot intercept until end of turn. So this is like pretty scary as well. So because like if you have like Mistiak already, units, not rearguards in general, like including the Vanguard, if your Vanguard is Mistiak, then it's considered one of the unit. You call on place and then you choose opponent's rearguard cannot intercept. So basically something like Mega Colony, basically like stunning along those lines. So you can get to soul charge one as well. So pretty nice, I would say. And you can combo this with Margaret, you know, what we call it, the recycler grade 3 card for Stoic here last time for PP10. So it's kind of like you can combo with that. And now, last but not least, we are going to straight into the ace of this Vanguard, which is Mistiak Lulluszuul. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, you look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You choose up to 1 grade 3 or less unit card from among them, call it the rearguard circle, and shuffle your deck. If you have 5 or more units, you call them, choose 1 card from the hand and discard it. Which is not very difficult for by the time you write your grade 3s, because most people have been telling me that basically Stoicia to reach full field is not that hard because you have something like Ho-Ho Mushroom. So you have the mushroom that shoves in the zone, you could call plant 2 tokens. So basically for them, unless your opponent is not deciding to swing on your rearguard, technically speaking, it's like very useful for them. Like say when Lulluszuul is just like placed on the Vanguard, just the top 7, and then you call one. You just get to call 1 card, and then if 5 or more, you just discard. So quite good as well. You just kind of disrupting the opponent's defenses. And that's how it is. And so the second skill, auto on the Vanguard skill, when this unit attacks the Vanguard, you counter blast 1, you choose one of your rearguards with Mistiak and its card name written into your hand, choose up to 1 unit card from your hand with Mistiak and its card name and with a different card name as the card written by hand by this effect, and call to rearguard circle. Basically saying this is like the Bermuda Triangle levels of bouncing. So basically it's like something like Duo or like Harmony, I'm not mistaken. Where like say you can do 4 attacks, so the rearguard can attack first, then Lulluszuul attacks, then counter blast 1 bounce back, and then you call back a different name with Mistiak. So that's how it is. No power plus, but then again it's a effect lah. What you saw for additional effect for like 5k with the grade 1. So not that bad, I would say. Still fine. Not the best, but it will still be a very decent multi-attacker lah, in general. So that's about it. And then we have like Usa Zasta, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. When this unit is placed with boost a unit with Mistiak in its card name, if there are 3 or more face down cards in the damage zone and you did not CC during instant, you CC 1. So that's quite nice. Basically a counter charger already. There's a lot of counter chargers with single support this set, not gonna lie. We did this with Gandhiva before, we did this with Solaron, so every card will have a CC, so I guess this will be their CC for this one. And then we have the grade 2. And this one is a double rare. This one is Mistiak Mew Mirin. As you can see, the art is like really weird because you have the giraffe and the turtle together. I don't know what were they supposed to when they designed this card art in the first place. Okay, so when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you have 3 or more units with Mistiak in its card name, this unit plus 5k until end of turn, so 15k attacker. In general, then you soul blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguard cannot stand during opponent's stand phase, which is basically Mega Colony levels of okay. Can combo with Margaret. So yeah, that's about it. So act rearguard once per turn. If you have breakthrough or greater with Mistiak Vanguard, you bind one of your rearguards with Mistiak in its different card name and call the card bound for this cost to rearguard circle. So which is kind of nice. So basically speaking, you just like you just bind one of your rearguards with Mistiak, call the card bound for this cost to rearguard. So basically you just call and just call back, and then you can just like do a lot of like abilities based on let's say Lulluszuul Manta, I guess, or like you can call it for or you can just use it on Elon Drina. And also you can basically play with like a lot of like I think it's only like Misty Arc actually, not gonna lie. But that's how it was supposed to be. Because you have to place on the rearguard skill, so that's how it's supposed to work. And then we have Misty Arc, LP Rao. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, okay, so basically speaking, like and this Mew Mirin can basically just like call the Misty Arc, find the Misty Arc, and then you call the Misty Arc. Then you pop the effects when placed on rearguard. So it's kind of like super nice. So to activate the effects. So when this plays on rearguard circle, if you have 3 or more units with Misty Arc in its card name plus 5k, then counter plus 1 and draw 1 card. So it's good as well, because like say for example, if you already use it on Master, so if the Mew Mirin can just find this grade 3, then call back, then counter plus 1, then draw 1, then cast 5. So quite good. So 18k attacker, get to draw, that's it. Points of the Misty Arc deck, make ample use of the card's multiple on-place effects. So that's the point of this deck. That's how it's supposed to be. Reuse this on-place effects with your bouncers, and then we return Misty Arc unit with useful on-place effect for the following turn. So which is quite nice. So here's the point. You just bounce back. If you use it last turn, then you bounce back. Then you use the skill to like activate more effects. Okay. Yeah, so next Thursday will be the Token Ranbu 2023, and then we have Kashu Kyonzi, and one of the new gimmicks for the nation, okay, for Token Ranbu in general. So that's about it. What else can we talk about? Okay, yeah, so we can talk about the combos. So we have the Surrogate for Beedle, which is the Festival Collection Grade 3. You just tutor out Inlet Pulse and Aura Pulse for double the draw power, which is correct. Because you can do 4 attacks at minimum with Lulluszuul already, so Inlet Pulse can basically just end of turn, move to solo draw 1. The Grade 3 Alpiral just come on place, counter plus 1, draw, power, plus 5. Use Margaret and Mew Mirin to paralyze on the rearguards, which is how it's supposed to work. And you can also like say use Idol Spiral to recycle your personal rights and use Break on Nempo as a recurring body during PR turns, like personal right turns, right, in general. You can play the grade 2 Maple, but I think the grade 1 Maple will still have a lot of space, because I think like you basically have to play like a lot of like Misty Arc, because I feel like it's very like what do you call that, centric, Misty Arc centric, archetype centric right lines deck. So that's about it lah. Okay, so what else do we have? We have the sneak peek promo for BT10, which is, yeah, and then we have all the SP arcs over here, so that's then like Lulluszuul kind of reminds me of something, like Lulluszuul reminds me of my Loctite from Pokemon, so the semblance is uncanny, but the semblance is uncanny. Alright, this one is also quite nice for like Genesis as well, placed on rearguard other than the battle phase. If your Vanguard only have Genesis, which is only for Minerva purposes, you counter plus 1, soul plus 1, draw 1, then you choose 1 card and in your hand reveal it. If it's a unique card or if a grade equal or lower than your Vanguard's grade, you call it and discard it if it's not. Okay, quite nice. Yeah, so that's about it. At the end of the battle where this unit boosted, if your Vanguard have only Genesis, which is aka Minerva, you put 2 rearguards in the same columns into the soul, which includes yourself. You choose 1 card from your drop zone with only Genesis in its clan and add it to your hand. So it's quite nice because for 2 reasons. You can bounce back for Minerva for the next personal right turn, or you bounce back the Gen 1 Genesis card from your hand, thereby triggering the certainty, the guarantee that Minerva gets a restand in circumstances where you do not have a Genesis in your hand, card in your hand. So she's quite nice. So she's a double rare for Minerva, yeah. So quite nice for BT11. So that's about it. Like what Lulluszuul does. Lulluszuul is a very interesting deck, but then again, you always against like a lot of decks with retiring. I don't think this will be a good meta deck, but it would be viable. I would say it's not completely not viable. I think there's like some viability in there, provided if you don't face like a lot of like on hits, return bot decks. I'm not sure about bot decks, but yeah. the binds or whatnot. Okay, yeah. So today's pretty short. Although I've been like doing this for half an hour. Alright, so that's about it. I would need to like off my video right here, right now. So, oof. I just realized that I have not been raising my camera for like, oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, never mind. Never mind. My camera is just like oof, the mouth. Okay. So I've been talking for half an hour, covering half an hour without the camera. Oopsie, that's a little bit. Okay, it's okay, but it's fine, I guess. I guess that's all for the reviews this week. I guess there's nothing much to talk about actually. So I will end my video right here, right now. So if you guys do want to see more of my content in the future, do like and subscribe. And that's about it. I think I will see you guys on the next video. This has been Professor 05 signing out. Okay, yeah, it's kind of like I didn't record with my camera on, so whoopsie. Alright. Alright, so that's about it. Alright, bye bye.